Mr.
Bond.
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 Bond. James Bond.
Hello, good evening. Welcome back to the Bondcast, the ultimate Bondcast, should I say. You are here with Mike and Chris, but another person that you might have noticed is in the corner here, whichever way the camera goes. First of all, how are you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm really good, mate. Really good. I'm excited to get into Live and Let Die, to be honest. I really like this film, so I'm looking forward to this, but mostly I'm looking forward to having our friend Mark on the channel.
Absolutely. Well, welcome, Mark, from the Merchandise Vault, one of our friendly channels on the guest star with us today. How are you, Mark?
I'm very well, thank you, Mike. And just thrilled to be invited on. I don't know whether you've had anybody on before, but
You are the first. You are the first.
You're breaking new
First
ground
and
with
last.
me.
Absolutely. But it's a real pleasure to have you here. And we've got some people in the chat as well that have joined us. Lorenzo, good evening, Lorenzo. And on Facebook, we've got Ben. Ben just said hello to himself. So hello, Ben. Welcome to the channel. Hope you enjoy the review of why we're here. If you don't know, you haven't read the review, we are here obviously for Live and Let Die. And Mark has very kindly done some memorabilia behind you, if I'm not mistaken, Mark.
You want me to move?
Yes, please do. What have we got? Is this in the spirit of the channel? That is so cool.
Oh, look at that. That's amazing.
I genuinely can't decide which one looks best. I'm probably not sure about Jane Seymour's face in that figure, if I'm being honest.
It's probably because I
Brown
took the
Family
tarot
looks
cards
amazing.
away.
Yeah. But all the same, on that subject, Mark, obviously these guys have seen the Bondcast before, hopefully they know what we do, but what do you do? Tell us a little bit about the Merchandise Vault.
Okay, so I only started in June of this year, so it's in its infancy, really. The first initial episodes were about, well, I only ever planned to do 12 because I didn't think anybody would take much of an interest, maybe. I'm not too sure, but it kind of grew from there that other ideas would pop in my head. I thought, I'll just go everything that I've got, around the room and set up a Facebook page, obviously the YouTube channel. And it kind of spiraled to making friends around the world on Facebook, which has been fabulous, and just being into contact with regular people, from all different backgrounds. And there's been some very kind comments and so on and chats on Facebook.
The Bond community is very involving, though. It is. There's a spirit of nobody's trying to beat anybody. They just love the same thing. And
that was the lovely thing when we all met up at the Mockingbird Cinema in October for Global James Bond Day, and yourselves included. We all spoke to lots of different people, and it was just like you were among friends and family. It was terrific.
Yeah, completely agree. But yeah, I think you've got a lot of stuff. Obviously, we're going to see a section of your vault, and for those of you who've seen some of Mark's videos, will realise there's a lot more behind him than you can see on camera.
Yeah. I can move the camera if you wish me to. I don't mind.
Have a quick scab. Go on.
Okay. So if I go like so, you've got the whole range of the Sideshow line from the late 1990s to the early 2000s, and then I'm gonna come very slowly that way. So that was what was behind me. You've got the car collections from Eagle Moss. Some of the larger models down below.
Are there any of those corgis by any chance, Mark? Are they?
The corgi ones, they're kind of loose, just along there. I've forgotten the name off the top of my head for the larger models. And then I'll take a little slow walk this way. Then you've got the corgi icon range of figures.
Wow.
Sideshows, quarter scale.
Yeah.
This is figure fun all round, isn't it, mate?
Then there's some. They're like the. How can I put the corgi? They're like different anniversaries. Some are 30, some are 40. You've got the corgi ones there, like with a bonus card.
Wow, that's amazing. Honestly, that really is awesome.
Fantastic.
And then you've got some mini props.
That's the
Yeah,
golden
yeah.
gun. That is the
Yeah.
golden gun.
My wife,
word.
my wife last year surprised me with the Spectre ring there.
Oh, that's nice.
And how accurately does that gun fire, Mark? Out of curiosity.
Oh, it's not very good, you know. And then two of the prize ones I've got is the stunt gun used by Goldie in The World Is Not Enough.
That's amazing.
and
I
then-
remember that. Yes, I do now
Yeah.
remember it.
Yeah, because all the details are on the back. This is one of my favourites because that's the one Sean Bean used in GoldenEye.
Wow. That's
my.
amazing.
And
The
then,
man that always dies.
yes, no matter what he's in. And then the little fun section would be the 1990s James Bond
Yeah.
Jr.
Oh, Chris, here we go. Which is what we were talking about the other day.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
So it's, I mean, to be honest, it's a small line, and then the rest of the room, you have just some lithographs by Jeff Marshall. I don't know whether you know him.
I don't actually. Enlighten us, Mark.
He's a graphic designer. He did 16 official lithographs of the first 16 films.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
Okay.
And some of them are signed. I've got the Spy Who Loved Me was signed by Roger Moore. Desmond Llewellyn signed. Yeah, if I go a bit closer. So
Chris, you used to
Desmond
me feel
Llewellyn.
like an amateur when you look at how much memorabilia Mark has got. I feel
Yeah,
very,
it's
very
awesome.
small right now.
So yeah, Desmond Llewellyn signed that one. George Lazenby signed his one there.
My God.
Roger Moore signed The Spy Who Loved Me. Christopher Lee signed The Man with the Golden Gun. But each one is individually numbered to a certain amount. I'm just going to spin the camera back round.
Wow.
Love it.
Well, that's honestly, that's phenomenal. I didn't expect we'd see as much as we've seen in there, and I imagine there's a considerable amount of years gone into that. Clearly.
I was just about to say it's like over 30 years of collecting since I was a teenager and I started work.
Wow.
That's
Well,
awesome.
efforts are not in vain because we're in awe of you right now.
Oh no! I'll just get embarrassed if people say that.
No, that's amazing.
Even my
And-
wife doesn't say that.
Well, to be honest with you, a lot of us have got testing relationships with our partners because we have such a love for Bond. So, there we go. But no, thank you for showing us around that, mate. And
pleasure.
Thank you
for
so much.
joining the channel today. But we are on to, Chris, we're on to legendary. What we always do, mate. What do we always do?
Bond news, mate. Bond news.
Bond news, mate. That's what it's all about. Let's just put our little banners up because we know what we do in them. We mean business, don't we? There we go. I think that's actually not worked on my screen. Lovely. We're back to it. We're back to
The
it.
beauty of live TV.
It is. That's the downside of it, unfortunately. But Bond news, and you know what? Because we haven't been around, Chris, for probably 5 weeks now. It feels like we're
it's
out
been a
of
while,
practice
hasn't
here a bit. There has been some pretty good stuff happened in the world of 007. Shall we do the not so pleasant news first? Because for those of you who are keeping an eye on the headlines, we've had 2 007 actor-based deaths since we were last on the air. So unfortunately, we're going to start with that part for the number one. Unfortunately, is our Die Another Day director Lee Tamahori. And
Yeah, really
How
sad.
does that happen? 75 is not very old, is it?
No, it's
Not
not. It's really
really.
sad to hear. I mean, I think any Bond director has done a fantastic job in making bringing Bond to the screen. I think Lee Tamahori did a really, really good job with a lot of Die Another Day.
He did. Yeah, and do you know what? To me, I know it was 3 years ago now, but I remember it vividly, like it was only yesterday. It doesn't feel like a particularly old Bond film in my head, really. So it's gutting to see that we've lost a legendary director, I suppose, and our commiserations go out to Lee's family and friends, of course,
Absolutely.
from there. Regrettably, second death. This is awful, isn't it? We're going down like a list of people, but
Yeah, it's
forgive
sad,
my
isn't it?
pronunciation here. Is it Cheki Kayo, if I'm pronouncing that correctly?
I think so.
Turkish-born actor who was one of the generals in the GoldenEye movie in the Russian consulate. Unfortunately, has passed away. So slightly more minor character, but still equally intrinsic to some of our memories as Bond. You know,
Again, 72 as well. No age, is it?
No.
It's my first movie, Chris. As well, GoldenEye was my first movie I ever watched. So it's terrible when you see that happening, and Lorenzo clearly agrees. So
No, he's right. It's very sad.
More positive news for you, though. You eagle-eyed viewers that are have got an Amazon Prime subscription will realise that the Bond movies are about to drop off free on stream in, I think it's the end of this month, so you've got about another week to watch it. However, the strange, bizarre event, they have struck a deal with the streaming service in the UK, ITVX, to stream all of the Bond movies on their streaming service completely free of charge. Now, I can't work out why they would do this. I've been trying to wrap my brains. Have you guys got any idea what would be incentivized here?
So, maybe I'm coming at this from the wrong way, but I didn't think the ITVX deal was new, because I watched Dr. No on there about 6 months ago. So I don't know if maybe it's like a leftover of a deal they've just got to suffer until it's over, and maybe it will move back to Amazon. I'm not sure, but at the moment they can only show 2 movies at a time. So at the moment they've only got License to Kill and GoldenEye on there. So I think their strategy is they'll do them in chronological order and do 2 movies each time.
Maybe they'll drip feed you.
Yeah, and then License to Kill will probably drop off, and Tomorrow Never Dies will come on, and then they'll just creep their way along the Bond movies. I don't know what will happen once they get to the end. Maybe it will end. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know whether you guys saw it. Something came up on my news feed a few days ago, but apparently Sky News are looking to possibly purchase the entertainment arm of ITV.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't know if that's got some bearing on this. Whether that would influence them to use that as a strategy, or is it part of an historic deal, like Chris has pointed out, where it's drip fed? They've made it more public, and for that reason. But it seems a daft idea to pay $2 billion to buy the franchise into your business and then give it out to somebody else for streaming rights. So
never makes sense, does it?
Generally, haven't worked that one out, and I don't think we'll ever really know the answer.
It's odd because you know what? ITVX has got all the Star Wars movies as well. Makes no sense.
Yeah,
and
it's actually a very good streaming service.
Yeah, I think so. I really like it.
Do you know what else, chaps, has happened this time 20 years ago? We are experiencing 20 years of Daniel Craig. You remember back on the riding down the Thames, the boat clinging for his life. People doubted him as Bond, and
he got a lot of negative press from that, didn't he? From the whole lifeguard jacket.
It was like, he's not made to be Bond, or what was it, Chris? Not my Bond.
Not my Bond, and or Blonde Bond, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was the other thing. Blonde Bond.
And I think that's the reality. He probably set out to make one of the best movies after Casino Royale because he knew, I've got to prove these guys wrong. I'm being called everything under the sun. And he made it's clearly a top 10 Bond film, Casino Royale. 100%.
Definitely.
From there.
I'm hoping they're going to do some celebrations of some description next year for the 20th anniversary. Whether it's
I hope so.
I hope so. And that, my friends, is Bond news today.
Thank you so much for that, mate.
I think, mate, have you been reading something recently,
Yeah,
Chris?
I have, yes. So we talked about it the other week. The Hook and the Eye came out, and I just wanted to give you my thoughts on it because I did give it a read. I really enjoyed it, I have to say. So it's by the Bond author Raymond Benson, and you can see some of his books on here. He did six original Bond stories. So those top you see there: High Time to Kill, Back to Death, 0-10, The Man with the Red Tattoo, Never Dream of Dying, and Double Shot. And he also did the novelization for 3 of Pierce Brosnan's Bond movies as well. So,
wow.
Doing with regards to Bond books, and you can, if you were interested in those 6 novels, you'll see James Bond, the Raymond Benson years on the right there. That's all 6 of his novels in one. You can get that in shops. and I can't now see what's in the bottom. But it was
Sorry.
James Bond Bedside Companion. Thanks.
I just thought I'd throw you a curveball, Chris. You know,
I love it. I love it. He wrote this in the 80s, so you both might have seen the James Bond Bedside Companion, but it was like a non-fiction collection of stories about Ian Fleming and Bond himself and locations and stuff like that. So it was kind of a revolutionary book for its time from Bond's perspective. But anyway, the book itself, I really enjoyed it. It's a Felix Leiter centric story, and it is set within the literary world of James Bond. So it is not set, it's not the Felix Leiter you see in the films, it's the Felix Leiter that you read in Ian Fleming's books.
right.
It's set in 1952, and it's set in between Live and Let Die and Diamonds Are Forever.
I was going to ask whether it's sort of a prequel prior to him knowing Bond type thing, or is it just a spread amount story? It could be anywhere effectively. And
it's an odd one, because you kind of would expect that if someone was going to come in with the first Felix Leiter story, that they'd make it a prequel, set it before Bond, or they'd set it after Bond. But to put it right in between two Bond stories is kind of ballsy, and I really liked it, because it's him coming to terms with losing his arm and his leg in Live and Let Die.
Of course.
To a shark. So it's set before Diamonds Are Forever, and him getting his prosthesis, and then sort of getting back into work. And I won't give away anything, but he meets a mysterious, beautiful woman called Dora, and they kind of go on a bit of a road trip from New York to Texas. But nothing is what it seems. Hey,
is it romantic, or is it a romantic road trip?
There are romantic elements to it. Yeah, there are definitely romance, adventure, espionage. He does drop hints about his time with, the British Secret Service and previous adventures that he's been on, but he doesn't labor on it too much. It's very much his story. It's really easy to read, I will say. It's easy to pick up, easy to get into, and I'd say you definitely don't have to have read Ian Fleming's stories to enjoy it, which I think is really important. If we want to get people interested in these kinds of stories, it is just a really good pick up and read, and you don't need to know that backstory. The author does a really good job of giving you what you need.
I think these are the sort of spin-offs we need. We don't need an Amazon box set of the Moneypenny Diaries or something like that, but a book like a standalone book that's sort of total Bond light, but in that universe, it's wonderful. I must borrow that from you. I'm quite intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, I fully recommend it. I think it was, like I say, it's easy to read. I think people can sometimes be put off by Ian Fleming's works. They're quite verbose, they're quite dense, and they're quite detailed and quite, for a lot of people, probably quite slow as well. They're slow burners. But this is sort of It's
real investment in your time, though, isn't it? That's what it's all got to be about. You've really got to take a moment, somewhere chilled, nice and relaxed and mellow, and just sort of zone out into a different world. And I think sound like that's the experience that you've had, Chris. To be honest,
definitely. If you're a fan of the world that Ian Fleming created in the 50s, then I think that you will love this story. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. 2 thumbs up from me.
Wow. Well, guys, the hook and the eye. If you haven't got it already, because I haven't, I'll certainly be buying it, and you guys better find it as well. So, hopefully more of those to come, and hopefully more from Raymond Benson. I don't think he's done by any measure.
No, but he's not done a Bond novel since like the 90s. I don't think, from what I remember. Like, I think his novelizations came out after some of his original works. I might be wrong, but yeah, it's been a long time.
Wow.
Long time.
Well, I think I'll give you some thoughts after I've read it as well. After I've either bought a copy or probably nabbed your copy off you. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome to it, mate. Welcome to it. But yeah, definitely worth it. I'm reading the Q one at the moment. The Quantum of Menace. Reading that at the minute.
I've heard that, and I'm trying to understand how that fits in. So let us know more when you get to the end of that one. That'd be good.
Yeah, I've only just started it, but this feels like modern day. So like, as opposed to it being in Ian Fleming's world. But it's good. Enjoying it.
Nice. Well, we're on to the main event now, boys. We are here for Live and Let Die from 1973. For those of you guys that are completely under a rock, never seen this movie, it was obviously the first Roger Moore outing of Bond. Ironically enough, no tuxedo in this movie, though. That's what was a bit bit freak for me, if I'm being honest. I could have swore he wore one, but he didn't. So,
He doesn't need it, does he? He just oozes cool. He doesn't need a tux.
He does. And let's face it, we had a bit of a weird occasion. We've been through the 2 subsequent movies before this one where we had 2 completely different Bond actors, and then we entered a new era. And I think, Chris, we've been saying for a long time, after we've done all the Connery reviews, which we've really enjoyed, we were itching to break into the next era. And I'm glad we're here now, really. So, Live and Let Die. Let's go to yourself first, Mark, overall. So give us a very sort of brief overview of what you believe or like, or maybe don't like so much about this movie. What's your overall take, shall we say?
So, Live and Let Die was my first ever Bond film. So, I got into it down to my mum because she had a huge crush on Roger Moore, and she said, to come and watch this. So, I put down I think it was Star Wars toys at the time. It was like a Sunday afternoon job, and all of a sudden, this music starts. This man walks across the screen, points to gun, shoots, and that was it. I was just zoned out. And obviously it starts off at Bond's house. No one's actually seen, I think, Bond's house in the previous films or flat.
Yeah.
And
briefly, Dr. No, ever so briefly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true. Actually, yeah.
Like for 30 seconds.
But at this point, obviously, I didn't know there was a Sean Connery. I didn't know about John Barry. And obviously, his boss turns up and there's that whole making a coffee routine, which was tickling me something chronic. I was only like 8 or 9. I was like 8 or 9 years old and I was just laughing and laughing. But it soon becomes this adventure of like the dark arts, like a mystical type thing. You've got this suave guy that seems to just effortlessly move through any kind of environment, knows exactly what he's out to do and to achieve. And you throw in the amazing cast, like, Yaphet Kotto as Mr. Big and Dr. Kananga. The music as well from George Martin of the Beatles fame. And it was just intoxicating for me as an 8 or 9 year old. And I suppose, the whole leaping over alligators to escape, the boat chase, more comedy from Clifton James as Sheriff J.W. Pepper. It just blew me away. And I don't think I didn't move for the whole film.
I think the fair point to make there is that I think no matter where you start in your Bond career watching your movies, no matter who's your first actor or whatever, everybody that gets in love with the Bond franchise is in awe of his character, because especially in the earlier films, there was nobody like Bond,
No.
And he's always been a cool character. But Roger Moore, let's face it, because of his previous sort of interpretations with the Persuaders and the Saint and stuff like that, he had instant confidence and coolness that come from it. And I suppose those elements of the Saint and stuff would bled into his version of Bond, not in a criticism in any way, but certainly that is inherent of the role ultimately when he took it over. And to come in and suddenly play it Sean Connery way would have been wrong for him, and he would have been horrendously criticised for it, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, the man just oozes charm like the character, doesn't he? He's just so likeable.
Chris, what about yourself? Tell about you. I know this is obviously one of your favourite movies, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, I was just listening to what everybody else was saying and agreeing with everything. It was just really nice listening to other people talk about it. My first feeling or my first experience with Live and Let Die, I think was with my dad when I was really young. He's the reason that I started watching Bond. And if you asked me what Bond movie makes me think of watching Bond with my dad when I was a kid, I'd probably say this one. Yeah. So, it holds a special place in my heart for that. I've got a lot of strong nostalgic feelings towards this movie. And I was really worried about watching this film because I I was concerned that after the critical way that we were watching the movies, would it hold up?
Yeah.
And I was
that
worried
fear.
that I'd be like, oh God, you know what? It just it's crap. But no,
I'm like disappointed and underwhelmed, and
I
didn't
want it. I didn't want that, but no, I wasn't. I bloody loved it, like I always do. And everything that Mark has said with the crocodile jumping and Sheriff Pepper and Kananga and Mr. Big and and Solitaire and that first scene that we said, is it you guys all know better than me, but like, is this the only Bond pre-title sequence that Bond isn't in?
That's a really good point,
and I think you might be right. Yeah,
because I watched it and I was like, where's Bond? And then it just started and I was like, all right then, okay.
I was going to say No Time to Die, but actually he does appear later in the sequence, so no, it's the only time. And I think that's a good point to pick up, because the pre-title sequence, yes, it's Bond light, isn't it? He's not there at all. However,
it's great,
doesn't it just set up the danger immediately? You just see these agents being, in whatever fashion, killed across the world in totally different parts. We've got, New Orleans, New York, obviously San Monique, and you are left bewildered, because it's not a very long sequence, but you are thinking, my God, what the hell's happened here? Since I just saw Blofeld getting, killed in a mud pie in Diamonds Are Forever, and now I'm seeing something frankly quite dark, I think.
That funeral sequence is so iconic. Like, I love this. I sit there with a smile on my face, and I'm like, "Go on, ask him." And he's like, "Whose funeral is it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yours, dickhead, yours." And then he's gone. I love it.
One thing I don't get though is, how does the guy die from an earpiece? I'm sorry, explain that part to me when he's in the United Nations. How does that kill him? I'm really confused.
I don't know, a major eardrum burst or something.
Yeah. He died of an ear canal.
That's what you're struggling with. A movie that's about the supernatural and the occult, and you're like, how did that guy die by an ear?
And that stumped me. As a kid, I actively just accepted it, and I watched it back, and I just went, "How did that happen?" And
wow.
It sounds like you guys are none the wiser than I am.
We're not in on it. No.
No. But yes, very spooky title sequence, to be honest with you. What do you think, Mark? What was your sort of take on that?
Oh, the title sequence itself. I think the actual song.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, it's one of the best, isn't it? It's certainly
it is
one of my top 3. I'd have thought. It's just it's just like the changes from like hard rock to kind of a Caribbean kind of flavour, and then back into it again.
A total different
kind of ballady at one point as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I do like the fact that it was something completely different that had come before, because it's usually like a ballad, whether it's a female artist or a male, or just an instrumental. I think actually,
I like it too.
I mean, Majesties was obviously picking it up, but then it moved on with Wings for sure.
I think it's slightly Bohemian Rhapsody with the tone, how it often changes and rocky, and then, like Chris said, mellows out and all that. It is a totally rocky roll in Bond theme, but as you guys said, and I totally agree, one of the best by far.
It's the perfect Bond theme for this Bond movie, because the theme is totally different to what we've ever had before. Because we've like Mark said, we've always had big band, brass ballads, that kind of. And it sort of signals the change in Bond, because the style of music has changed. I mean, George Martin's score, which we can talk about, is, I think, phenomenal. And that even the Bond theme at the very beginning is just, it's totally different, and it's got that funky feel to it. And, Bond is different. The style of the film is different. The set, just everything about it is a complete course correct, and that's why the music works so well.
Totally, you're right. It's a different era Bond, and I'm making it apparent. Totally different. However, still exactly the same guy, and that's what they tried to patch off with the immediate cliches. I mean, how did we first see him? He's in bed with a woman. Come on,
I love that first scene as well.
I do. The
I mean,
fact
what
that
amazed me
Moneypenny
going,
covers his bum as well is amazing. She covers his ass in front of them. I love that. I was like,
going back to quickly going back to Wings. I mean,
Mm.
they almost didn't get the gig.
No,
Because I mean, George Martin said to Harry Saltzman, he said, if you don't have Wings do this, Paul McCartney do this, then you don't have the song. Because apparently he was looking at more like somebody like Aretha Franklin, if I can remember the interview correctly.
yeah, more
But,
traditional in that
It took
respect.
some persuading, and thankfully he listened.
yeah.
And what a tragedy it would have been if that hadn't have happened. That'd be,
Yeah.
you know.
We'd have
And
been
then-
robbed of an incredible song.
And
We would
also
have.
the way the title sequence is quite working, it sticks with these sort of voodoo, fire type
Mhm.
spooky themes, which is also a turning point for the Bond titles.
Yeah.
Which I think for a lot of it was quite representative of what Roger Moore's title sequences became as it went on. But it was definitely like they tried something new with the way they filmed the Bond title sequence for Live and Let Die.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys agree with that. Just seemed to look that way to me.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah, same. Agree. Yeah.
Yeah. I think bottom line is we blend into a new Bond and we're put into a world where you're right, there's probably some element, and we'll put these up in a bit, there's some element of a supernatural trend in Live and Let Die. Circled around tarot cards, immortality, voodoo magic, that sort of thing. Some people could argue if they saw that brand new, that's a bit weird. That's not what I was expecting. I was expecting quite traditional GoldenEye vibes and stuff like that. What would you think if you were a brand new viewer, just watched Bond for the first time, and you're actually getting a sort of a supernatural movie in a way? Despite the fact, it's a brilliant film. That's not take that away.
I don't think I ever watched this movie when I was younger and thought, this feels different to other Bond movies. They never. I like that they're never explicit that it is or it isn't, voodoo or the paranormal or supernatural or whatever. So yeah, I mean, it never really bothered me. I don't really think of it as any different to any other Bond movie in that respect. Do you?
No, it just occurred to me when I thought about the elements of this movie. They're not really elements that ever get revisited. Like I said, we can see the Baron Samedi. We've got the tarot cards we just saw, and then there was all the classic Bond elements that fit in there: the car chases, the fights, the action sequences. Even trying to tap Bond with a snake. I mean, we haven't seen that since Dr. No with the tarantula, have we? And stuff like that, where there's actual very silent assassination attempt on him. But all the classic elements were there in Live and Let Die.
It's just another classic example of Bond being a product of his time. I think this is trying to tap into that sort of influx of like blaxploitation and that kind of just the way 70s cinema was going. And I think that's all this is. It's just a representation of pop culture at the time.
Do we think it's possible that they are trying to move Bond into another era, as in up in the action, up in the thriller, and maybe just a little bit on what we've seen previously? Because the Connery movies were not particularly high octane in terms of that. They were more thrillers, for what I believe, mostly. But Roger Moore had a bit more the action, even if there was a bit of a comical element in there. This felt like they took a next step with the action and maybe put a bit more into the budget.
Yeah, I think they kind of thought, because it didn't work out with Lazenby, they were only going to have Connery for one more film. They had to maybe mix it up a lot because of that whole element that you just said, Mike, of something different. Obviously, the 70s was different to the 60s. There was a lot more going on. So I suppose they were trying to hit the ground running with somebody new, but somebody well known at the same time.
Chris, talk to us about the Bond girls in this one, and I'm picking yourself because I know how you feel about this Bond girl.
Oh, mate, solitaire, honestly.
Yes,
What a beautiful woman, and
she is.
What an incredible role. I love it because it's got that element of, does she have power? Doesn't she have power? There's the fun element of her potentially losing it after hooking up with Roger Moore. And I mean, if I had power, I'd give it all up to hook up with Roger Moore. To be honest, no, if we're talking about beautiful people in this movie, she comes second, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, Solitaire is fantastic in this movie. I do think that Jane Seymour
Bernard Lee.
Yeah, obviously Bernard Lee. Yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
I'm sorry, I've lost where I was. But yeah, no, I think Jane Seymour is really good in this movie. I think she's my second favorite Bond girl, as you know. And only because the story of Vesper is better. I still think that as a Bond girl, I really love Solitaire more than anyone. I think.
Yeah, a lot of sass about her, but
yeah, is sass. She holds her own.
Yeah, but there is a damsel element of her as well. That's what but not too much. It's not overdone.
No, you're right. It isn't overdone. She brings her own things to the table, but she also doesn't end up becoming like a silly caricature at the end, like some Bond girls can become.
Yeah.
What about you, Mark? What did you think?
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, she was my first Bond girl, and there is I've got a very soft spot for her. Like the same with Roger Moore. He's the guy I grew up with.
Sorry, I had to go
there. But yeah, I think she was only 17 when she landed that part.
It's mad, isn't it?
I never realised that actually. Age.
That's insane to be in a Bond film. I mean, she would have been aware of what had become before and how, what a global smash it is. And I mean, I've no idea. I think she still talks positively about it now, but I think at the time there might have been a bit of unease about it. I'm not too sure, but the role of Solitaire, she was just amazing. It was just soft-spoken, innocent, and she was absorbed by her perceived gift.
What was lovely about Solitaire was they kept this sort of the skimpy dress style away from her, and she was in very much like gowns and overcoats and all that.
Yeah.
And I actually really like the classy element. It's very elegant.
I think she looked more. She's probably one of the ones that has looked more seductive, being covered up. Not to say that she wouldn't be not covered, but
but it wouldn't have the same charm if she just sat there in a bikini in the whole movie. And
exactly.
Some men might think that's weird, but I think there's a lot of us that go, no, that's probably more attractive in that way.
Yeah,
I think the costume design was incredible. Like, I love that gown, the cape attached to the wall that she comes down.
And the whole dress comes down.
That was amazing.
So good.
It was.
It's our old friend Nikki Vandersil back as well. Because she overdubbed some of her lines in the movie.
Did she?
Yeah,
another royalty she's picking up, I imagine.
Yeah, it must be. Well, I mean, she's gone now, bless her. But the first scene, where when Bond first meets her and introduces himself to her, and she's laying the cards on the table and being really soft spoken. That's Nikki Vandersil, because the director felt that she was too abrupt with the way she was talking, so they redubbed it instead of getting Jane Seymour to do it again for some reason.
So it was select lines, not every line.
Oh yeah, not all the movie. No, just one or two scenes.
That introduction's just fantastic.
Yeah,
that undercurrent of the music and the way it's just incredible.
It's like that, it's so good, honestly. And I think they've got, if you play a music suite of Live and Let Die, I mean, all the background music and stuff, it's one of the most beautiful songs, like hours worth of tunes you can have. It's wonderful.
Such a great score. One of the best, sort of non-standard scores. Without the.
I mean, if you're George Martin and John Barry's gone before you, you've got to be really apprehensive about taking it on.
You've got to be top of your game. You have to be.
Only film he did as well, wasn't it? The only Bond movie he did.
Yeah. I mean, that being said as well, so we know we'll go back to Roger very shortly because he's obviously Bond this one, but let's go to Mark. Mark, talk to us about Dr. Kananga, which is for me is a very different kind of villain that we've not experienced before in Bond up until this point.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about Dr. Kananga or Mr. Big.
So Dr. Kananga, I mean, obviously we aren't aware he's one and the same person as Mr. Big, but they seem to have pitched his villain to be the same kind of mold as Bond. You know, he dresses smart, he's well spoken, he's intelligent, he's very forward thinking and forward planning, to the point where he's going to give a whole amount of drugs away just to, you know, to have the public be addicted to his type of heroin, in how he's cultivated it and so on. But he sees himself as perhaps not necessarily Bond equal physically, but certainly in the way he carries himself and presents himself, for definite.
I think he's a very threatening villain, physically threatening villain, I think. Particularly as Mr. Big.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. But I suppose it's because he's coming across as a different character, so the authorities aren't kind of putting two and two together and realising it's the same person. He's like involved in politics. He's got the drug side of things. He's got operations across, you know, America. It's quite a wide ranging thing.
Dare I say it, he's probably got some synergy in the world of politics with the way things are now in certain places, oddly enough.
Possibly.
Maybe, not that we're going to mention names, of course, we can't get too political, but it's ironic how, and I think we've noticed this, Chris, if we watched the films, we've noticed more and more relevance to the world it is now compared to the fact they were 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah, the world doesn't change, does it?
Not particularly.
Can I just say about Kananga? Like,
yeah,
I think Kananga's ruined a little bit by his death. Does anyone else?
I was going to mention
his
that.
Death is annoying as hell and it's just silly. It's
Roger
so silly.
Unfortunately, it fitted the character.
I mean, even Roger Moore hated that death. They all hated it. I don't know why they did it. It's like something out of Willy Wonka. It's really
was it to
weird.
Do you think it was to make the gadget more relevant, possibly? Because it wasn't really. We don't really get a moment doing, oh, well, here's your gadgets in this movie, and maybe that was to give it a bit of a relevance to why the bullet, the air bullet, actually exists. You know.
I mean, I think what I'd have preferred is, you know, you see the bit where he puts the capsule in his mouth, and then maybe just a shark, because you know there's a shark in there, a bit like Thunderball, where you see the shark coming in to the henchman.
Yes.
Bond gets out, and then there's just kind of like an underwater explosion that you don't see; you just see it from the surface, and you know he's gone, he's done.
He didn't have to come out the water.
No,
that's it.
Balloon,
that's it. When he becomes a big balloon, that's when he gets.
He's like Max Zorin's blimp.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He is actually. And looking at him, you know that's the worst dummy they've ever made. Let's be honest, it's horrendous.
Yeah, it's not great, is it?
You know, and I mean, I've got no side clips here, but I guarantee if we put the actor's face next to that dummy, you were going to see a clear distinction. It's not that man. But there was also one character, guys, that threw up in Live and Let Die that I was so pleased to see after Diamonds Are Forever didn't take advantage of it. And this was Sheriff J.W. Pepper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is a character that you swear to God has been in more than like
half a dozen,
and he hasn't. You know?
No, he's like the sheriff out of the what is it, Smokey and the Bandit?
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Yeah.
You can tell he's taken liberties from that.
He's obviously very inspired by the whole Starsky and Hutch, Tips, that sort of, you know, I don't know, cheesy, but I don't know, such a likable character, even though he's not particularly nice to anybody.
No, not at all. I mean, I was very, very lucky enough to have met Clifton James a long time ago, and what an absolute gentleman. When I saw him, there's actually nobody at his table at the time, so I was lucky enough to chat to him for about 5 or 10 minutes. And he was just like like somebody's sweet grandpa, you know, complete opposite to his sheriff character.
I wonder what he felt like when he was told to play it that way. Then, if that's not him, and it's acted, of course, but how would that made him feel? You've got to be quite snippy, a bit short with people. I hate to say it, but he was introduced racist wise. Don't forget at the beginning, he pulls over Kamanga's, you know, henchman, doesn't he? I'm not being funny, not because he was speeding. It's because he was a black man driving a car. That's what it's all about. And I'm not condoning that behaviour, by the way, but that's evidently what he was doing. You know,
Yeah, well, you could see, you could hear it in the dialogue, couldn't you? It was subtle, but you could kind of hear it, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, and that's something that we know from a, again, back to what Chris has always said. It's a creature of its time, Bond films, and unfortunately, this was the 70s, and those sort of things were sadly overlooked, not condoned, but overlooked, and not really picked up on. I think really. So
it's like I mean, on a separate note, it's like with the books, how they've like kind of re-edited the books. For me, I don't know whether they should, because like the film, they could use it as a learning tool for someone who's looking to become a writer. This is how it was then, but you could not get away with it now.
I agree with you. I think like the books should have like the
original
warning
text
page or something, that says this is a product of its time. We do not condone the views, etc., etc. We are keeping it unedited because this is the work. I know this is random, but like Tom and Jerry do it. Like when they show the old Tom and Jerry cartoons, they have like a warning at the beginning that says, this is a product of its time, and we don't condone some of the values that but we're not going to change it because it's history.
You're going to end up editing every bit of history of movies. That's not.
And that's the danger.
Leave that to George Lucas, and
what, to do it wrong?
To re-edit everything in his movie.
But when it comes to this movie as well, guys, I mentioned the action seems to step up a little bit. There's two particular sequences that stick in my head for this movie, and they are the chases. We've got the favourable double-decker bus chase, and we have got the speedboat chase. Who wants to go first?
I'm going to be brief. I think the speedboat chase is awesome. I like them both. The speedboat chase is up there with like top tier Bond chases in any Bond movie. I love it. It's so good. It's so much fun. But yeah, I enjoy them both, and the double decker bus chase is fun, but the boat chase is spectacular.
I think both chases had a phenomenal bit of cinematography work done on both chases. The way that they were shot, like the diversity, you can see there with the car rocking about and stuff. They were very cinematic with this film, more than they've probably been before with their camera angles.
He really tried. Guy Hamilton really tried, because we said so much about Diamonds Are Forever feeling really static and stale and and slow. So, and it's the same director. He's clearly learned, and he's tried to do something very, very different. And it's kinetic in the same way that Goldfinger was before it.
It was, and I think when you look at the boat chase, you're equally right. Very dynamic with its camera angles. The tension and the pace is wonderful. It keeps just ploughing through. We get little bits where we've moved out of it, but you don't get disconnected from the chase. Like we see what Sheriff J.W. Pepper's doing, catching up with the chase. We see the henchmen steal the fastest boat on the river and stuff like that. They're bits that don't disconnect you from the film. They contribute to the film, if nothing else, more towards the characters and stuff like that. So I think out of boat chase, this is probably one of my highest ranked ones in all the Bond catalogue, to be honest. Yeah,
I'd agree. I mean, I enjoyed the bus chase, but it's obviously shorter than the boat chase, and the boat chase offers like, the boats are doing jumps, they're going to cutting across roads. One ends up in someone's private pool, so the humour is still there on top of everything else. And how
I love how they just watch his boat drive off. It's just like, oh, that man just crashed the boat in my bowl, but there he is, getting in my boat, driving off. So but and then you don't question it though. You just go, that's a Bond movie. Yeah,
and then like how it culminates with him. And I think it's Adam, the character that he dispatches, where he chucks the gasoline in his face and moves his boat into that back of that other one. Along with the music, it's just like pure entertainment.
There was also a real crucial moment that you guys are gonna. We briefly touched on at the beginning of the show, but it was obviously the favoured crocodile run. Now, how well this sequence was done, I've actually pulled together the outtakes of where it didn't go so well. So there's no audio to these because frankly it was awful. So this has got it's got about 2 or 3 outtakes of where it didn't work. Just have a quick look and let's have a react to this. It's quite funny from there. So we've got take one. You can see how close they actually get.
Yeah. So
That's
close.
mental. And then wait, we take two.
This is one of those like movie facts now that I feel like it's so apocryphal, a bit like, you know, in Lord of the Rings where Viggo Mortensen breaks his toe on the helmet. That, like, I feel like this is one of those things that people just go, they were real crocodiles, and I'm like,
Yes,
but
yes,
it's
no,
such
they
a cool
weren't.
fact. But yeah, it is so, like, it's so well known now, isn't it? But like, it's still so unbelievable as well.
It is, but that's one thing that people have all respected about the Bond films. I know they are green screen ridden in the early eras and stuff like that, but they did a lot of things for real. All right, not necessarily the actor, but somebody was doing that pretty much for real. Should we see how it actually turned out, though, from the film?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wonderful, and it's believable that's Roger Moore when he jumps over the. I think the continuity. You know it's not him, but you believe it's him.
Yeah.
And do you know what the name of the stuntman was?
No, I don't. Tell me, Chris.
Ross Kananga.
I think he was the owner of the actual crocodile farm, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
That's amazing. That I wondered if that was just like where they inspired the character's name from, because I know
It
he's
was,
in the
yeah.
book.
They think they said that it inspired the character's name.
And
Very
the
cool.
great thing is, guys, you can actually buy that sign now. That trespassers will be eaten.
Can you? I love
I
Yeah.
wonder how much
It's-
that's
I think
going for.
Oh no, you can get it on the. I think it's a 007 store, and I don't think it's a silly amount of money. And I think it's like a kind of A4 size, and you can either screw it to the wall or, you know, command strip it to the wall or whatever you want to do. But yeah, you can actually get that sign now.
That was, but for me, looking back at that sequence, right, it was needed in the movie. It was a real standout moment that you remember in Bond history. But you do think to yourself, why didn't you just shoot Bond and not bother taking him to the farm in the first place? If you're going to try and kill him, do it
Villain
the right
logic.
way.
It wouldn't
But
be
that's
as
a
much fun.
movie, you know. I think though, when I think we're nearing sort of the close of the movie at this point now. When we get to the point now, we're at the we've sort of touched on the fact that Kananga exploded quite rapidly from there. How do we rate it in terms of finales, especially when you compare the fact that Diamonds Are Forever was on the oil rig? Maybe not terribly well done, of course, but it was quite a low-key ending, I think, to this movie. But I feel like it had a lot more effect than what Diamonds Ever came out as. What do you guys think?
I'll let you go, Mark.
Okay. Well, when Kananga was, you know, taken care of, I was just thinking there'll be an end sequence with Bond and Solitaire, you know, most likely in bed. What I didn't expect was Tee to turn up for a fight and to
That was
finish.
unexpected but welcomed.
Yeah, so that was good. And then, you know, the whole hint that Baron Samedi was on the front of the train as well, but we never know what happened to him.
We don't know what he is either, do we? We don't actually know.
No,
It's
and so I kind of enjoyed it because I mean, when I saw him at the end on the end credits laughing into the camera, it made me laugh back. It was just infectious, and you know, I kind of like to think, yeah, he's still out there somewhere.
I sure this
I do
felt
too.
exactly the same way when that came up. You know, finale for you, Chris. How did that feel when you sort of rewatched that today? Should we say?
Oh no, I agree with everything that Mark said. You know, I think Tee was such an interesting villain, and there's something, or henchman, I guess. There's always something great about a Bond villain that has some sort of like mechanical nature to them. You know, like Jaws is obviously a product of the same sort of minds in the 70s. But yeah, I think that scene where he has Bond's little finger is one of the most like stomach turning in the whole movie, because I really feel
Yeah.
so yeah, it's great to see them have a bit of a balmy at the end, and I love Baron Samedi as a villain. It's weird how little he's in it and how kind of inconsequential he is to the movie in some respects, but he's an iconic Bond villain, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's just a scene stealer, isn't he? When he comes in, when in that sequence you just said about Bond being in the chair with his finger ready to be snipped off, and they knock him out, and Whisper takes him out, and all of a sudden Baron Samedi comes in with that flute music and turns over the death cart. Magical.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
That symbology of a Roger Moore era. This is what we were listening to. It had a bit of cheese, a bit of drama, and some mystery. And I think that's sometimes why this movie holds such a really fun place in my heart. It really does. I was so pleased it didn't disappoint on the rewatch that we're doing. And I'm fearful now that some of the other Roger Moore movies probably won't live up the same way. But I'm probably having a weird anxiety over it now. But,
have a Vesper when you watch Man with the Golden Gun.
I will, and I think it's going to be. It's not as solid as Live and Let Die, but it's a good movie all the same. As we've seen your gun earlier on, Mark, in the corner of the room. So, no, was there anything more on this movie for you guys? Anything that you want to cover? We don't think we've touched on enough, or?
I'd like briefly to. I don't know if we've talked enough about Roger Moore.
No, we haven't. Barely, actually.
God, he's so good in this movie. Like, Roger Moore is pitched as the campy Bond by a lot of people that clearly haven't watched Roger Moore movies in a long time. He is not campy in this movie at all. Like, he is suave, and he is cool, and he is charming, and he has some fantastic one-liners. So many one-liners, but they're not cheesy. They just accentuate the cool factor of Roger Moore. He looks like super handsome. Like, I can't believe that he's 45 years old in this movie, because he looks
doesn't look it.
I think though, go on.
As far as the sort of like first movies of each actor, their sort of introduction run, Moore is by far the most confident. I think out of all the actors, if you take the first movies, born for it. You're right, absolutely agree.
Yeah, like smashes it straight out of the park. Love this. Love his performance in it. I think the scenes, especially the scene when he first gets to New Orleans, I think is fantastic. The way he plays off Bernard Lee at the beginning. Bernard Lee actually comes across like his anger is forced in some way when you watch it against Roger Moore. And I don't mean that as that he's a bad actor, but like he's trying to look angry at Roger Moore. And at the same time, I'm sitting there like, how can anyone be angry at this guy? This guy's just so cool. Lay off him. So why is he angry? But so I think Roger Moore is incredible. If we just did one movie for each actor and had to rank them like as the best Bonds, like it'd be tough to beat him in this role in this film.
I think if you take your Roger Moore movies, it's a very neck and neck run between Live and Let Die and A Spy Who Loved Me. They are very hard to decipher. The better one, honestly, very, very hard. But maybe that's what we will do in one of our future.
I mean, I think maybe there are better movies. Maybe Spy Who Loved Me is better. Maybe I'm gonna find something further on down the line. But I just mean I just think his performance in this film is perfect.
No, I'll probably retract my earlier statement on our other show about him being beaten by George Lazenby as being a better player.
This is it. How can you think he?
We'll probably return that moment.
Another thing with Roger Moore, though, Connery, his voice, his accent, it's just it's renowned, isn't it? And
it's the Englishman.
Lazenby was a bit hit and miss, and it didn't help with him being dubbed. But you listen to Roger Moore's voice, and it's just so smooth and velvet. The way he delivers his lines in that killer manner. It's I think his accent's just as intoxicating as Connery's for me.
I think Moore and Brosnan are the best at the liners. I think by a country mile. Not there's anybody actually particularly bad, but they are the better ones. I think. From there for you.
I don't know. I love your sweeping, like you're finally like, I'm going to make a final statement right now on it.
I believe it, mate. I believe they make the best outcomes for
That's
the
good.
movies.
That's
To be honest with you, anything really. But I think that's fair to say, guys. Live and let die.
It's been great fun.
We're not doing a score.
We know we're going to do a score. That's the next bit, mate. So we looked at our previous scores, obviously, a little bit earlier. For those of you guys that have not seen the previous reviews, go back and look at them on the channel, of course. But this is where we are previously, and you'll see that I was very, very cruel to Diamonds Are Forever in our last review. 2.5 out of 10. Chris a little bit fairer with 4.8 out of 10. Chris, what? Go on. What do you think?
Oh God, it's so hard because I think this is a really, really good movie. I'm gonna go high here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go 8.5.
8.5 is very, very respectable, and I don't think you're out of order at all. I think it's brilliant, really good score. You're 8.5. Oh, I mean, it's a very, very good balanced film in all
it's
areas.
only because of our previous scores. I look at it and I go, is it better than From Russia with Love and Goldfinger? And that's kind of where I'm looking, but it's better than all of the others. So
I
it's,
need to
it's so
contemplate
tough.
it. Now, the question for me personally, is it a Goldfinger beater? Because that's what we've ranked at the highest previously, pretty much.
That's
So,
what you have, yeah.
I don't think it's a Goldfinger beater. I think it's probably worth a little bit more than you've given it. So I'm going to go with 8.7.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Just because I have to go a little bit higher, and I don't want to give it a 9. I think
You think it's better than From Russia with Love?
I actually think, in some merit, yes. And the downside we've got to these scores, guys, the fact that we've watched the movies chronologically, therefore our perceptions will change and churn as time goes on. Now, I might rewatch From Russia with Love after watching Live and Let Die and go, actually, that's more a 6 now. But we're watching them in the order that we're doing them. So I'm sticking to my guns. It's an 8.7 and an 8.5 for you, Chris.
That sounds good to me. Mark, give us a score, mate.
Go on, mate.
I mean, I'm going to have to say, for me personally, because it was my first and it just ticked all the boxes, apart from the silly death. I'm going to have to just go above and just say 9. Because there is a bit, 9. It's a lot of sentiment, a lot of nostalgia, but an all-round entertaining movie.
We are in that little circa moment where we're the higher end of the scoreboard by far.
Definitely.
I
don't think anyone scores wrong either. I think it's so tough. It's just
Very
about
tough.
where you pitch it with the other Bond movie at the minute. It's a 10 out of 10 movie, 100%. It's just
It's going to get harder as we go along.
In respect to the
Chris,
other Bond films, it's so tough.
I don't envy you two picking your scores, you know.
It's hard. It's gonna, and somewhat you're critical to your previous interpretation and that score, really, from there.
Yeah.
But,
I think if we ranked all our movies based on our scores, we'd probably hate the list it gives us as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you rank them all, you'd be like, "Oh God, why is that put License to Kill above, whatever?" And I just think we'll have to rank them ourselves, like separate to this.
Completely agree, mate. And on that basis, because we always round off with a plug, we'll do ours by all means in a minute. Mark, have you got anything that's come on your channel you would like to publicise on the horizon for the merchandise spots?
So this Sunday, I mean, it's a question one that I'm answering, and it's about probably what any, forgive the pun, any collector might face is what's going to happen when I'm not here and this is still around. And I go into a little bit of detail. Nothing exciting and amazing, but just the practicalities of life, isn't it? Moving forward, a bit like yourselves with the Carol Ashby interview, I want to go out and do some interviews.
I think you should.
So that'll be fun and interesting. That invitation also extends to you two guys, whether you're interested or not. Whether you want to, I know geographically we're not too far apart from each other.
We are not. No.
Whether you two fine gentlemen would like to do a bit of a impromptu chinwag here, and you can have a proper look around, you're more than welcome to. I think you'll like the green room. That's not in this part of the house. This is outside. Might give you a clue as to what it might be. I don't know, but I think you'll both approve.
I think we will probably take you up on that at some stage.
You're both more than welcome. And then into next year, I have a number of merchandise targets, and going to be doing some like location type stuff, where certain films have been made. So yeah, just to get out of here a bit more and meet a lot more fans out and about, just having fun and just mixing in general.
Brilliant. Well, we'll look forward to it. We'll stay tuned to your channel. If you haven't checked out the merchandise file, you can find them on Facebook and YouTube. Mark, am I right saying?
Yeah, it's just MI6, the merchandise vault. On YouTube, I think you just need to scroll down perhaps half a page on the search, because it seems to have gone in as the collector. But all the videos I've done previously are on there anyway.
No, well, we'll stay true to that. And Chris, over to yourself, mate.
Well, I mean, I haven't got much to say, but it was just lovely having Mark on the show with us tonight. I really enjoyed it. I think you've got some great views about Live and Let Die, so it was really fascinating to hear those. And
thank you.
The vault looks awesome. All I'll plug is my my channel, Geek Figure Fan. Just done a couple of reviews. I've got a couple more going up soon. I'm due to be doing a larger retrospective on James Bond Jr.
Wow.
I have got 3 figures, so I've got Bond, IQ, and Jaws that I can look at. But Mark, I might have to come and steal some of yours, mate.
Mate, you can do your review really if you want. We'll all tie it into one go.
Incredible.
Sounds good. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a retrospective, and I think a section of that is also going to end up on this channel as well. So that's really exciting. But that's it for me, really. Obviously like and subscribe and all that jazz.
Nice. Thanks, Chris. Well, I would look forward to seeing what comes next on Geek Figure Fan. And yeah, looking forward to the James Bond Jr. thing. Kind of leans into what we're going to be doing next, because obviously we're bearing down on December month now, which means we're looking at the Christmas special we're going to be doing. If you want to get a flavour for what we're aiming for a little bit, it's kind of, I suppose if you're American, think Saturday Night Live. If you're British, think Ant and Dec. It's a bit sort of segmenty, put together special. It won't just be a single review, it'll be a lot of little bits all mashed together. So we look forward to bringing in that production to you in coming up to the build to Christmas, to really make it special and round off our events for the year.
Did you just liken our Christmas video to Saturday Night Live?
I did. I had to step in there.
Wow.
Okay. So who's dancing whose deck?
Do you realise
that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, actually, it's weird. When we put the camera next door to each other and we go the wrong way round, we are just like, this feels wrong.
Yeah, this feels wrong.
But it doesn't look right. I should be on the left side of the bed and Chris should be on the right side of the bed. And I would just like to thank everybody that has subscribed to us here both on Facebook, YouTube, and we've recently branched onto Instagram as well. So thank you for everybody that's contributed to our channel. We didn't think we'd get anywhere near where we are at this point when we started. So thank you very, very much. Breather, I think, guys, that is us done for Live and Let Die, done for the channel today.
Great film.
It is a great film. And onwards to The Man with the Golden Gun. Not sure if you'll see it this year or next year, but certainly it's the next one in the line. So thank you for joining us today on the Bondcast.
The ultimate Bondcast.
Bye, guys. Bye.